Hi, I'm Collette G, relationship specialist, author, and speaker. Today, I want to talk about sexual harassment. Because of the Me Too campaign that's going on right now, I think it's really important to get a clear understanding of what sexual harassment actually is. And there is a very gray area on that for so many. I've been watching a lot of online shows and things like that where people are saying, well, how could this be sexual harassment? How can just talking to a woman be sexually harassing her or complimenting her? When are you crossing the line? And that's really a tricky thing right now. And some women are coming out with the story that, well, when I think back about this issue, I feel like I was sexually harassed. And so I think, let me just give you some takeaway right here where you can really gauge whether or not it's appropriate to compliment a woman or inappropriate. I think if you work in a job, a field where you're in power, and whereas you are the boss or these are your subordinates, if you compliment a woman who works under you, that can be construed as sexual harassment. And let me explain why. She may actually like you, but if she does not like you, then she still has to pretend that that's okay because she doesn't want to lose her job. So that would be construed as harassment because you can't actually talk to someone in that manner, no matter how attracted you are to them because of your position in that field. That would be construed as sexual harassment. The Me Too campaign came about to support not just women that were sexually harassed, but sexually assaulted, sexually abused, raped. I've been a woman that has been raped. I've been sexually assaulted. I've been sexually harassed. I have been sexually abused, and those things are all different. Rape is like a physical manifestation of someone exerting power and control, taking, sex from you without your permission and or consent. And let me just delve into what consent is. This is going to sound pretty boring, but consent is asking someone's permission to kiss them, to touch them in sexual ways or ways with their permission, to engage in kissing, sexual activities. And you have to ask permission for this. I know this seems like a Debbie Downer and a mood killer, but the fact is that when you're engaging in relations with someone, you need to make sure, whether you're male or female, that you're getting that person's consent all the way, even during the process, like asking them. And there are ways that you can check in by saying, may I kiss you? Do I have permission to touch you in this way? Do you feel comfortable? Does this feel good? Is this okay? And asking those questions is your way of checking in and making sure that the person is giving consent all the way. And just because a woman or a man gives consent, that does not mean that they can't take that consent back anytime that they want. So this is another one of those gray areas where she said she wanted it, or they were with it, and then, the person said no, but they were saying yes too. Well, if at any point the person says no, and no isn't just like me saying no. No can be my body language. No could be a look on my face or an uncomfortable, some uncomfortable grimace or something. No is just no, but no comes out in many different ways. So that's another gray area too. But you have to understand that. Excuse me. If two people are drinking heavily, I have to cough. Sorry. If two people are drinking, consent cannot be given. If one person is drunk and the other person is sober, consent cannot be given. So that's an automatic do not touch, do not engage in sexual activities if you're drunk, because one person may come out of that scenario and feel like, hey, wait a minute, I would not have done that if I were sober. So it's best not to engage in sexual activities when you're not sober. If you're drinking or smoking pot, it's just best not to. I mean, that's just one of those things. Anything else that I'm missing?
Just maybe what they should do if an incident does happen, reporting it.
Okay. Okay, so I've given you some things that you can think about in terms of like what harassment might be, the difference between rape, sexual assault, those types of things. But maybe you don't know what you can do if you have been a victim of sexual abuse, assault, and or rape. The best thing to do, and I'm depending on where you're watching this, since this is world-class advice, you may be watching this video from anywhere in the world. But the best thing that you can do is go to your nearest
sexual assault or domestic violence prevention center or intervention center.
Okay. So depending on where you're watching this video, you may need to know where you can go in order to get help if you've been sexually assaulted, abused, or raped, or harassed. So the nearest sexual assault or domestic violence or sexual assault agency would be the first place that you can go. And usually those are like a 1-800 number if you're in the States, or something similar if you're abroad, where you can call, and it can be anonymous and people will listen to what you have to say and tell you what to do from there. You may not want to go to local law enforcement. Sometimes the perp is working within law enforcement. Sometimes, like what's going on in the States, they have a very high profile position and you're afraid and you don't know what to do. The best thing to do is to really go to one of those types of agencies, because there you will be protected. There you can talk and share, and they will help guide you through all of the procedures and the steps that you should take next in order to, first of all, keep yourself safe, provide you with some useful tools and some information to help support you, and to let you know that it isn't your fault. No matter what, it isn't your fault if this has happened to you. And you should know that, there are lots of women and men that have gone through this. So if this is something that you've gone through out there in your life, or you're afraid and you want to talk to somebody, you definitely can do that. You can even contact me direct. You can visit my website. I'm also a violence prevention specialist that helps women and or men who are going through domestic, interpersonal, and sexual abuse. So you can contact me at www.findinghappily.com and you can talk to me. But really just reach out to a support center or someone that specializes in that field that can walk you through. Maybe you really don't know if you've been sexually harassed or abused or assaulted or raped even. You may not know for sure, especially if you've been given, in some of these stories that have come out, people have been given hallucinogenics or drugs, and there's the date rape drug, so your memory may be really blotchy and things like that. You may not even know, but you have a feeling that something went wrong. You've been violated. And I think that's the number one thing to keep in mind. If you feel that someone's violated you, you have to really just follow that feeling right there from the start. Yeah, you can talk to the person, but it's a feeling that you have within. No one can tell you that you were not harassed, because only you know how you felt about that instant. But no one can tell you that this wasn't rape. You know if it felt like you gave consent or not. So that's a start. There's ways to talk to professionals that can tell you or walk you through those things. And so that's what I would suggest that you really do if that ever happens to you, which I really hope that it does not. Thanks for watching.